Hey guys, this is Fábio from Radio Stay Rock Brazil, and today we have a very nice guest with us, Rob De Luca, bass player of UFO, Sebastian Bach, and Spread Eagles. Rob, how are you, man?
Very good. Thanks for having me, Fabio. It's really good to be here.
Man, pleasure having you here. I know I've been trying to get this interview for some time, but you're busy, I'm busy, so but finally, Rob, I would like to go back in time with you a bit, like from the beginning of your career as a musician till, let's say, last year. If you can walk us through, tell us all about it, because we're all curious.
Sure. I started out in a band called Spread Eagle in New York City, which I was a co-founder of, and we were on MCA Universal Records. And Sebastian Bach liked the band, and he said some nice things about us in the press, so I became friends with him. And then years later, so we put out two albums on Universal, and then we broke up for a while, or we just took a break for a while. And then I toured with other people like Joan Jett and George Lynch, and playing bass. And then in 2005, Sebastian and I talked, and he let me know that he was going to need a bassist. So then I joined his band, and then we toured everywhere, including Brazil and the world. And then in 2008, I joined UFO, and I've recorded records with UFO, and we've toured everywhere, including Brazil. And in 2006, I put Spread Eagle back together, me and the original singer, Ray West. And in 2017, we toured Europe and UK with Spread Eagle. We came home, and I started talking to Frontiers about making a record, and we signed a contract with them and released our newest record. Spread Eagle released our newest record, Subway to the Stars, in August of 2019. And so I am currently still playing in Sebastian, UFO, and Spread Eagle. And that leads us up to now, as quickly as I can do it.
I hear you. And Rob, and I had two questions in my head. One is, how is playing with Sebastian Bach? Because he's a guy, he's like 3,000 miles or 3,000 kilometers per hour. He's like, he's all over. He's a nice guy as well. And how can you manage playing three bands? Because I know some guys, like one band for them, they go like, oh man, I'm done already. One tour is enough, and you're doing three things, bro, pretty much at the same time.
Yeah. Well, your first question, Sebastian and I have been friends, like I said, since about 1990, since 1990. And he's just a fantastic frontman. He is one of the best frontmen in rock. And I've seen everyone pretty much. And so, yeah, he's amazing, full of energy. And we've been down to South America. We toured South America opening for Guns N' Roses down there. So that was big. So we've been around the world a bunch of times, and it's a pleasure being in his band and watching him do what he does. And as far as how do I manage three bands, it is hard, I'll be honest. Spread Eagle usually works around, when I usually book things with UFO and Sebastian and try to do the best I can. And then when I can see that schedule, I book Spread Eagle around that, just so there's not three bands really competing for the same time. That makes two bands competing for the same time. And I fill in the blanks with Spread Eagle. But I kind of just do it who has a confirmed tour first, usually. And it's hard, but I often go right from one tour sometimes I'll fly right to the next tour, or I'll go home for a day. But it's good being busy. I'm certainly not complaining. Being busy is good. Everyone wants to make music and work and have fun and see the world and be creative. So that's pretty much how I handle it.
Musician has to be on the road. I mean, it's part of it, and you get very creative as well.
Bands that are home aren't really. You have to look at it like in many ways, and one of those ways is as a business. And if a band is home, they're in this current music industry, that means they're not making any money and they're not paying their bills. So it's tough when you're home.
It's true. It's true. And how was like getting into UFO?
It's pretty amazing. Part of the reason was we did all that touring with Guns N' Roses, including in Brazil, and we did about 100 shows as support for them. Most of those shows were direct support. I didn't do a few in the beginning, but I probably did about 80 of them.
Wow.
And so I kind of got to be friends with them a little bit. And Bumblefoot, Ron Thal, actually recommended me for UFO because he's friends with Vinnie Moore, who's UFO's guitar player. And Vinnie was mentioning that he needed, they were looking for a solid bassist because Pete Way, the original bassist, couldn't get into the USA. He couldn't get a work visa. So that's how it started in 2008.
And I mean, how has it been with the UFO since? Because I know you guys have had, I mean, until it's Corona time, pretty heavy schedule, right?
Yeah, I mean, even though they've been around for quite a while, they're busy. They like to work, and we've done massive touring. So until Corona, there was 1 year since I joined that we took a break, but other than that, it's been heavy every year, and it was going to be heavy this year. We had dates in South America booked that are being rescheduled. So it's great. It's great. I like to be busy.
It's Brad Eagle. You guys also have been doing a few things because you told me that you recently, or the band recently, released a new song.
Yes, we recently released a new single called "More Wolf Than Lamb," and we're actually getting together and starting writing for the next record. So excited about that.
Nice. And can you tell us like a little bit how the next record might sound, or still?
No, I mean, we don't want to change who we are. We're like a lot of people call us street metal, East Coast street metal, and so we don't want to change. We don't want to confuse anyone because we love what we are. We're the best spread eagle band in the world. So we're just trying to be that, and it's basically very aggressive rock, really meaty and kind of mean at times, and really four great musicians. Original singer Ray West, guitar player Ziv Shalev, Rob De Luca on drums. Yeah, we're just going to continue what we've been doing, and we're never going to stop. We took a long break from 1994 to 2006. So that was our break, and we're not going to take any more breaks.
I hope not. I mean, I was watching the video, Sound of Speed, and I have to say, man, wow, it's really, as you said, like, it's really heavy, but not like ultra heavy, but really good, man. I was like, wow.
Yeah, we're like a rock metal band, but we're a little more rock than metal. We're definitely not full on heavy metal, and we don't want to be. We want to be exactly what we are. I think most people know us for the song Switchblade Serenade. which was our biggest song, and that was off our first album.
And how was like creating the song? Oh my throat hurts a little bit. Sound of Speed.
Well, that song is one of the ones that just kind of popped out really quickly. We wrote the main riff,
Mm-hmm.
and everything just kind of flowed after that. And I wrote lyrics, and it all just came together. And we all agreed that that should be the first single off the album, Subway to the Stars.
Man, it sounds like fantastic, you know. Because I remember like you sent me the link like weeks ago, and I was listening to it. I also even put it on the phone as well, and I was like, wow, man, I like this.
Thank you.
And I was thinking to myself, I can't wait till these guys, you know, like, you know, on stage, like really blowing the people's mind up, you know.
We're all about being a live band. We don't use any backing tracks. We never will. We're just four guys. All four of us sing. So it's just four guys up there playing rock and roll, what we've done our whole lives. And we like to show, you know, what we're about and our craft that we've worked on our whole lives, you know. It's important to play live and not run tracks and be who you are.
Yeah, because, I mean, when you play live, you know, without the tracks like some bands do, I mean, the crowd can feel it, and the crowd goes wild, you know. I mean, when I'm in the pit taking pictures, and I can hear the band is like, you know, itself, no tracks, nothing. I also feel like, my gosh, man, these guys are rocking, you know. I mean, you feel this good vibration side.
Yeah, I agree. And it's, you know, it's a different art form than people who play along to their backing tracks. Basically, that's more like some kind of performance of saying we're going to play along to our album, and that's, you know, but that's not what we do. We're a live rock and roll band. There's days that are amazing, and there's days that are not amazing. You know, there's mistakes. There's days when you play perfect. It's rock and roll. It's dangerous. It's what it should be. And rock and roll should be dangerous. And playing to tracks is not dangerous. It's a different. The only time playing to tracks is probably dangerous is when everything goes wrong and you're out of time with your tracks, and your audience is like, "What the hell is this?" But
acting like this, that sounds a bit, and people are like, huh?
yeah. So playing to tracks is not dangerous, and that's not rock and roll to me.
It's true. And then, as you said, Rob, like, you know, being on stage, it's just a day in the office. You're there to work,
Yeah.
do your job, make people happy. Then next day, another office, and pretty much it.
And hopefully you love your job. If you love your job, it really comes through.
It's true. I mean, when the band really likes the job they do, I mean, it's obvious. You can see on stage, like they're there like having fun. For them, not even working, just like, hey guys, we're here.
Yeah.
It's true. And Rob, also, one thing I like to know, how was last year for you in comparison to this year? I mean,
Well,
music-wise.
Well, this year was a writing year. Is a writing year for me because I'm home, so I'm doing a lot of writing. And last year was a busy touring year with Sebastian and UFO.
And then this year, which is the opposite of the previous years, which for me, as a music journalist, I mean, I was every single week pretty much in a festival or watching a band. I mean, for me, this year is just like doomed.
Yeah.
How is it for you? I mean, like, I know you're writing now, and you spend a lot of time writing, creating new materials, but how's it like, being just home and not being on stage or?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, Spread Eagle had a big comeback tour booked, even though we've been doing some touring since 2006. We started touring again, and even though we've done Europe and UK since 2020 was our big coming out tour with our new record, and you know, it all got canceled. So it's rough, you know, it's rough. I mean, yeah, I have to just look at the positive side of the fact that we're coming up with new music, and we're going to just ready ourselves for when we can tour, and we will do that as soon as we can.
And then same thing with Sebastian and UFO as well, right? I mean, everybody now is just chilling, and then perhaps 2021, everything comes back.
Well, that's the plan, and I mean, Baz still has dates for 2020 on the on the schedule, starting in the end of October, but it's more like a November-December tour in USA and Canada. It's hard to say if that will happen. You know, like, it doesn't look good, but I'm not the one to make the call of if it will happen or not. Right now, it doesn't look good, but things could change. Everyone has their fingers crossed. But everything is looking more likely like it. You know, 2021 will be the busy year for everyone, because everyone's just playing it safe and booking then. You know, however, things could go wrong, and bands could not even be able to tour then. So,
Knock on wood.
Yeah. So.
Well, I hope like next year everything's gonna be much
my mug
better. Oh my gosh, you got the one from UFO Brazil.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, Rob.
Our friend Chico, who booked us.
Awesome, man.
Made this for us.
You won the one as well. I won the one as well.
Spread Eagle does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in Portuguese.
Ooh, this is nice.
Yeah.
So people out there should just.
Yes, Spread Eagle Brazil page.
Awesome. And and Rob, so next year, as you said, is a bit. But any plans like to jump on the studio, like perhaps record a single or maybe an album with one of your bands, or everything too early?
Since we're writing with Spread Eagle, we're going to get in the studio as soon as possible. That'll probably start around the end of the year, but I'm not sure yet because it's a little early to say. And I know Sebastian has been working on an album for quite a while now, at least the songwriting aspect of it. So I'm not sure what his plans are. And UFO, we released our last album was a covers album called the Salentino Cuts, and we recorded that in Germany. And it would be great to do a new UFO record. That's up to Phil Mogg, the singer. If he wants to do it, I'm definitely into it.
I hear you. Oh man, I can't wait. Seriously, I can't wait to especially from Spread Eagle, something comes out, because, as I said, I mean, I would love to see you guys on stage, with new stuff and just rocking out, because this year is for me, it's boring, to be honest,
Yeah, it's very low paced.
It's true, and all I want, I really miss. I'm sure you miss as well, being out there and then listen to the amplifiers, and the guitars and the drums, and see the crowd and the whole energy, and.
Yeah, I mean, we thrive on that. That's why we do it, and it's tough to go without that when you've had it for so many years.
True. And Rob, is there any plans for Spread Eagle to go to Brazil or anywhere in South America, 2021, 2022?
We want to. We're looking for the right promoter to bring us down. We'd love to. We'd absolutely love to. Anytime.
See, guys, you promote out there. Book Spread Eagle. Listen to Rob. Awesome, man. Awesome. Rob, another question about your gear. If you can walk, as a friend of mine, he's a huge fan, of UFO and Sebastian band. And then when I told him, hey, dude, I'm going to interview Rob De Luca, he was like, and he's a guitar player, also bass player. He's like, dude, please ask him about his gear, what he used, from strings to pedals. I want to know everything. I was like, okay. So So I'm gonna ask Rob about it. If you can walk us through this your gear.
Well, I don't use any pedals. I
Mhm.
play just. I get the sound out of my fingers and out of the bass and out of the tubes. So I use my basses in Spread Eagle and Sebastian's band. I use a 1966 Fender Precision, and just that very very resonant old Fender tone. Very. It's got a nice mid-range growl to it and great low end. And in UFO, I use a 1979 Gibson Thunderbird, which also has great low end and nice low mid growl. And whenever I can, I use Ampeg SVT amplifiers. The older the better, which is the big 100-pound amplifier head with 14 tubes in it. And I just crank them up so they start really getting a little bit of natural tube overdrive.
Mhm.
And I use matching, usually SVT cabinets. Strings, I use Diodarios. Picks, I use Pick World picks. That's about it. You know, it's very simple, basic, big rock, 70s rock sound. You know, it's a very 70s sound because all the gear is from the 70s or older that I try to use. You know, like if I do a festival where it's throw and go, where we just show up, you know, I'll use an SVT, but it'll usually be a new one. But if I'm in the studio, I use the old ones, early 70s, late 60s, usually early 70s.
It brings a better sound, right, in general.
Oh, yeah. They're just, you know, the Transformers were heavier, like physically, weight-wise. They're very heavy. And they were bigger and heavier, and the wiring was Class A, point-to-point. It's just things were made a lot better back then. You know, now amplifiers have like circuit boards in them and things that have nothing to do with sound. All they have to do with is making a profit. That's all they provide, you know.
True.
So anything that's geared towards making a profit usually is the opposite of great tone. And I understand that companies have to do that. That's why they don't make them like they used to.
And plus, I mean, as you said, you have very simple setup gear. I mean,
It's very simple and very powerful.
good because you can travel like lightweight. You don't have to carry like cases and cases and cases like some bands do. The roadies, they don't go like, oh my gosh, I have to take care of this and that. Hey, it's here. Hey, take care of my stuff. Boom, one thing. It's easier.
Well, I wish that was the case. I mean, you're partially correct in just the setup is very simple. It's just a bass through a tuner pedal through an amp.
Mm-hmm.
However, the amp, the top part weighs 100 pounds and the bottom part weighs 200 and something pounds, 200 pounds.
And it's heavy.
So it's heavy. You know, the bottom part has this 8 10-inch speakers in it.
Uh-huh.
And the top part has 14 tubes and these 3 huge transformers that are very heavy.
Monster.
Yeah. So, so yes and no with that. You know, it's simple in its electronics and its wiring and routing, but it's heavy, so it's not easy to get to move around. So.
I hear you. Oh, I hear. So you really like kind of sweat a bit, right, to put everything together.
Yeah. I used to actually use the same setup in little clubs in New York City. I live in New York City where I am now, and there was a point where I was just out of my mind, where I was bringing like huge stack into these little clubs, you know, because it's all I had at the time.
Uh-huh.
So.
Gosh, that's insane, bro. That's insane. Rob, my man, I know.
One more thing. So I have a vintage bass website called vintagebassworld.com, Vintage Bass World, and it has just like 400 web pages of just vintage instruments and amps and tens of thousands of pictures. So
good to know that.
Really, really informative. So check it out. Tell your friend to check it out, please.
Oh, sure, man. I'll tell him. I'm sure he's going to be like, all over, like, oh my gosh, okay. Oh, Rob's using this. Oh, I got to use that thing as well, because since he's a fan, he tries to come as close as he can, sound wise, like to what you guys do, or especially you do. And he's like, oh, how he does this, how is that, what he uses, what he doesn't use, and but now he knows your secrets.
Yeah, it's definitely old gear. Basses and amps sound the best. It's just the way it is, you know. Um, and it's ironic that old gear sounds the best in 2020. You know, like it doesn't sound dated or anything like that. It's very aggressive and toneful and large sounding. You know, because it was made the best.
Yeah, I mean instruments back then were like pretty much guitars, bass player. I mean everything was like pretty hand carved, and like I think that the companies that used to make those things, I think they spend more time. These days, everything's made in China, Taiwan, and it's mass production, like next boom. So I think it loses a bit of the quality,
Definitely.
or the sound is not the same as the old ones. I don't know.
Definitely. Also, wood, as it ages, it gets more resonant. So old wood, it sounds better. So if you have a bass from 1966, like I do, you know, that's an old piece of wood. Or, you know, all the wood is old, just more than one piece. It's three pieces of wood. So,
It's true. Rob, my man, I know you have to go busy as well, but hey, brother, it was a pleasure. It was a huge
thank you
pleasure
so much.
interviewing you. And I hope like more and more will come. I hope like I have the chance to like instead of being cam to cam, would be face to face backstage somewhere
Yeah.
like in
Let me
festival.
know. Let me know when we're playing by you. I'll make sure you're on the guest list.
Dude, this is awesome,
No
awesome.
problem.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, guys. You guys had the pleasure to have the Rob De Luca with us today.
Thank you,
See you guys
Fabio.
later.
You
Rob,
take
have you want
care.
to say something else, or
Just check out the Spread Eagle Brazil Facebook page.
yeah? All right, guys. I'll see you later.
See you later. Thank you.